Lena always felt more at home on the sea than she ever did on land. There was something about the endless water and open skies that calmed her in a way nothing else could. The world around her was full of sound she would never hear, but the sea, in its silence, made sense. Lena had been deaf since birth, but that never stopped her from feeling everything more deeply. She didn't need noise to understand the ocean. She could read its movements, its rhythm, its moods. It spoke to her in its own quiet language. For years, she lived alone on a small white sailboat named Marie. It was her home, her escape, her safe space. She traveled from coast to coast, anchoring where the sun set softly and the wind whispered gently. Her days were simple. She watched the sunrise with a cup of tea, wrote in her journal, captured moments with her camera, and let the tides decide where she'd go next. She wasn't running from anything. She was simply drifting toward peace. But one evening, everything felt slightly off. The sky was clear, painted with soft pink and gold, and the sea looked like glass. But the air was too still, too quiet. Birds that usually circled overhead had vanished. Even the breeze that rocked her boat each night had disappeared. It wasn't calm, it was hollow, like something was waiting. She stood on the deck, barefoot, scanning the horizon. A strange feeling pressed against her chest, not fear, not panic, just unease. The kind that creeps in slowly and settles without a sound. And then, in the distance, the clouds began to form. Not gradually, like storms usually do, but suddenly fast and low, like they were falling from the sky. Rain came hard and sudden. The wind howled across the water, snapping her sails like paper. Lightning flashed through the sky, cutting across the clouds in jagged silence. She couldn't hear it, but she could feel the storm's power all around her. She tried to steady the boat, gripping the ropes with shaking hands, but the waves grew taller, angrier. The ocean, once so familiar, now moved like a stranger. Then she saw it just for a second in the distance, through the flashes of lightning. A figure, standing on the water, still, watching. She blinked, and it was gone. Another flash. Closer now. She stumbled back, heart racing, unsure if her eyes were playing tricks or if something had truly appeared in the storm. She rushed into the cabin, soaked and shaking, trying to calm herself. It had to be stress. A shadow. Just fear. But deep inside, something told her otherwise. Then the boat jolted once, hard, not from wind, not from a wave, but from something below. The floor beneath her vibrated, like the sea itself had knocked on her door. And then, all at once, everything stopped. No wind, no rain, no movement. The silence was heavier than anything she had ever known. She opened the hatch slowly, stepped back onto the deck, and looked out at a sea so still, it didn't feel real. And there it was, standing at the edge of her boat. A pale figure, unmoving, with eyes that seemed endless. Its face was calm, but unreadable. It didn't speak. It didn't need to. She felt a low hum pass through her body, like a memory she didn't remember having. It raised a hand and pointed once toward the sea, then upward toward the stars. And then, without a word, it stepped backward off the boat and vanished beneath the surface without a ripple. Suddenly, the storm returned, louder, wilder, furious. The ocean roared and twisted around her. She held onto the mast with every ounce of strength she had left. And then, nothing. She woke up on a quiet shore, the morning sun warm on her skin. Her boat was gone. The beach around her was scattered with pieces of wood and rope. But she was alive. No wounds, no pain. Just exhaustion and a strange calm in her chest. She never spoke of what happened. Not to anyone. She never returned to the sea. But sometimes, on quiet nights, she walks along the coast, watching the horizon. When the air turns still and the birds vanish without warning, she knows it's close again. Not angry, not cruel, just watching, waiting, like it always has.